It was March of 1985. I was 22 years old and had just finished a long day at work. That night, all I wanted was to get home, eat something quick, and finally rest. I drove toward my condominium in Rosemead, a quiet neighborhood, one of those places that makes you believe nothing bad could ever happen. But what I didn't know was that at that very moment, a man was roaming California like a shadow. A killer with no clear motive, no fixed method, and no predictable target. He would break into homes in the middle of the night and do whatever he wanted to, whoever was inside. People called him the Night Stalker. His real name was Richard Ramirez. Tall, thin, with a disturbing smile and dark, hollow eyes. He was addicted to drugs, devoted to Satan, and seemed to take pleasure in turning human suffering into his own private show. What baffled police the most was the lack of any real pattern. Most serial killers repeat a ritual or a method, but Ramirez followed no rules. Sometimes he shot, sometimes he stabbed, sometimes he used a hammer or simply strangled. He didn't care about age, gender, or circumstance. Some people survived, many others didn't. That unpredictability made him even more terrifying. At several crime scenes, investigators found satanic pentagrams drawn on walls, doors, even on the victims themselves. Richard Ramirez wasn't just a murderer. He was a man who carried out his crimes as offerings to darkness. And that night, evil chose me. As I pulled into the underground garage of my building, something felt off. The echo of my footsteps was too loud, and the air felt colder than usual. My stomach tightened with that primal warning, the kind that tells you you're not alone. That's when I saw him. A man emerged from the shadows. His stare was fixed, piercing, completely devoid of humanity. In his hand was a gun, glinting in the dim light. He didn't say a word. He didn't ask for anything. He simply raised the weapon and pointed it at my face. The gunshot exploded in my ears. I dropped to the ground, convinced it was the end. But somehow, I was still breathing. The bullet had ricocheted off the keys I was holding in my hand. A 1 in a million chance. An impossible miracle. He stood over me for a moment, staring, as if trying to decide. Then, believing I was dead, he walked away. Shaking, my heart pounding out of my chest, I forced myself up. My friend Dale was inside. I had to warn her. I ran toward the door, but I was already too late. Another gunshot rang out, echoing through the garage. Dale's body collapsed right in front of me, and there he was again. Richard Ramirez, staring directly into my eyes. His gaze was like two bottomless pits, cold, empty, hungry for fear. And for a moment, I thought he was going to finish me. But instead, he turned and vanished back into the darkness, leaving me alive. Not out of mercy, but almost as if he wanted me to carry the weight of that night for the rest of my life. I survived, but California was drowning in terror. Every new attack was different, every victim chosen at random. The only thing certain was that he would strike again. Police were lost. How do you catch someone who doesn't follow rules? The breakthrough came thanks to another survivor who managed to give a clear description of his face. A composite sketch was released in the newspapers, and the faceless shadow finally had an identity. Richard Ramirez could no longer hide. But when he tried to escape, it wasn't the police who brought him down. It was the people. Ordinary men and women recognized him in the streets of Los Angeles, chased him down, and beat him until he could no longer run. A community, tired of fear, brought the monster down in broad daylight. Ramirez was sentenced to death, but he was never executed. In 2013, at the age of 53, he died in prison of lymphoma and hepatitis C. More than 25 years after terrorizing California, disease claimed him before justice ever could. His story has since become a dark symbol of evil. Documentaries, movies, even strange rumors tied to music. But nothing erases the truth. Richard Ramirez was the face of fear in California during the 1980s, and every time I think back, I ask myself the same question. Why did he let me live? My name is Maria Hernandez, and I survived to tell.
Suscríbete, subscribe now, dale like, hit the like button. Más historias te están esperando. More stories are waiting in the shadows. No te vayas, stay with me. Sobreviví para contarlo y tú también. I survived to tell, and so